Salve. Okay, so I'm out in the wilderness, actually, a park, and I have to make sure there's no one around so I can talk really loudly about weird shit. So this is Mia Broxus, the Holy Wizard, and as promised in my intro video, I'm gonna be covering a lot of weird topics. And the first one, or at least it's not like the full coverage, but one that I will be discussing lightly in this couple-minute video, is micronationalism, micronations, small countries, started by just strange people who decided they want to create a sovereign nation. So, ideally, this video is going to cover the following: the idea of the empire versus the city-state. As we've seen throughout history, it seems that civilization goes in bursts, from like an almost tribal sense to a city-state to an empire, more or less. And it seems like there's these ages, and it almost feels to me like where we are right now in society is, in a way, an age of empires. Not to use that, video quote, but or video game quote, But I believe that, in a sense, there's also a sense of tribalism going on since like the 60s with the hippie movements, the modern like bohemian hippie thing that seems to go on today. Crazy people with dreadlocks and tribal tattoos, modern primitivism, I guess is what you call it. People walking by, distracting. So, and the revival of paganism, just all these kinds of things bring a sense of a tribal identity back to society in a way, at least, even if on the fringes, and at least on the fringes, but also slowly integrating and immigrating into mainstream society, which is essentially how that a switching of an age happens. But it's more like there's a combination of a tribal empiredom, more or less, if that makes sense. So my belief is that in order for humanity to really make it to the next step, we need to move from this huge, massive countries completely separate from one another to small individual. Notice I said individual? You caught that. Instead of individual, because I was trying to be European. Anyway, so like small individual city-states, micronations. See how I brought that full circle? And people talking about being punched in the kidney. We're at 4 minutes. Okay, I can keep going. So like this new age would consist of small national identities, small nationalities, and lots of sneezing apparently. So these small countries would act just like any other nation, with own currency, own flag, just as like nations go today, but they would exist on a grand scale. And the ideology behind keeping everyone from killing each other, as fun as, armies are completely acceptable, and I guess people will try to invade one another. But we should stick to the ideology that we're all separate nationalities with our crazy nationalists, more like, but all equal as humans. So in a way, taking the good parts of the globalization movement, with rejecting the bad, which is keeping everything as one huge grey mush, and allowing for individual nationalities. I mean, like, European Union is a sign that the empire of grey is moving towards us. And the idea of people not wanting that, they want their heritage and their national, like, identity. And, you know, as opposed to, say, a union of Europeans, so everyone is a European, as opposed to everyone is, you know, you're a French person, or a Finnish person, a Faroese person, Estonian, Hungarian, you know, what have you. You know, all the way to, you know, the things like small random countries. You know, you're a Tuvan, or you're a Russian. Well, Russia is kind of a dominant Rome of sorts, right? Or something like that. You're an Italian, not a European. What's your heritage? Oh, I'm European. You see, it kills the charm, the identity. No, I don't think that's good. However, you know, it doesn't have to be that way. And we don't all have to be, you know, bigots. You can have pride about who you are without being hating everyone else. I mean, you know, when people speak of nationality, especially on a European scale, a lot of people's minds jump to Nazism, which is reasonable. I mean, it was National Socialism. It was a nationalist ideology. It just went somewhere else, you know, and just, you know, to confirm all that, I mean, I'm definitely not going to be, you know, promoting any Nazi ideologies. I'm pretty, you know, avidly anti-Nazi, which usually annoys the crap out of people because I rant about it for hours. But that's another video, I think. Anyway, so this, you know, would be a good thing to break into city-states. And that's already happening with the micronational movement, with the, you know, people trying to hold on to their heritage as well, you know, for the countries that have not already gone stale. Places like America, in my opinion. I mean, we've held on to some of our heritage. I mean, there are parts of America that have, there are parts of America that have, you know, heritage, but at the same time, there's also Walmarts, McDonald's everywhere. But it's McDonald's everywhere. But it seems like America is almost completely swallowed up by corporate ideologies. There's nothing wrong with people making lots of money, but at the same time, there is something wrong with taking away the charm of something. And so, you know, that's kind of why I want to start a micronation, why I think micronationalism is a good thing, why nationalism is a good thing. And that's sort of my rant now, here, out in this desolate wasteland of trees and wind and shit. So, any who watch this, well, there goes my English skills. Okay. You should leave a comment or a video response. That would be awesome. So then I could respond and make this whole chain of, you know, special responses. Your thoughts on nationalism, micronationalism, the empire versus the city-states, and where the world is heading, where it needs to head. Or should head. I don't know, needs to head sounds like one of those crazy activist peoples. Yeah, thank you very much, and namaste.